Hi, welcome to another video. Today's slightly different because I'm not doing any DIY today, but I'm going to explain about the DIY I'm doing. And it's a bit of an update about my man cave as well. Last time I did an update, I was using it as a gym because all the gyms were closed. But this time, I've got loads of stuff in it. So it just shows how the sort of use of space changes. So without further ado, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing in there. My shed looks more like a junk shop. It's got loads of stuff in it. I've got all these items from my parents' old house. We were clearing out their house and I thought I'd retain some of the stuff instead of it getting dumped. I've got this cabinet that I did up in a previous video. I've got this old Bakelite 1930s electric fire and it actually still works. I've cleaned it up and made it look a bit nicer and I'm going to sell it. I've also got this old Hoover. It's a sort of 1960s, 1970s floating Hoover. I've cleaned it up and I'm going to sell it. It looks really space age and retro looking. It did have a handle on it, but I've taken it off as it was all broken. There's also original Hoover bags. They cost £2.35 from Cobham Radio. I think that shop closed about 25 years ago. I've got this table. It's a bit like a coffee table or possibly a TV stand. I've given it a good clean up and I've also varnished it, but you can see it's got quite a sheen on it and it's gone a bit smeary here. So I'll give it a rub down with a scourer to see if that will take the shine off. It looks a bit better now. I think I'll put it on eBay. Now this looks really retro. It's an old Ottoman. This is definitely in need of refurbishment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to re-upholster it and change the padding and the wadding on it. And I'm going to repaint the front as it's got a scratch on it. I won't replace the material here, but what I'll do is repaint it with acrylic paint that works on fabric. A bit of paint here will cover up the scratches. I think that will be in one of my next videos too. It opens up and you can store items in it. It's really retro looking. I'll see if I can keep all the bits of trim as well, because they're not too bad. See if I can either repaint it or change the ribboning. I've got hold of this lamp as well, and this lampshade. It's quite nice, old, this is like an old 1930s, 1920s lampshade it looks like. And I was going to see if I could fit it on here, but I think it's just a little bit too top heavy. So I might just sell this as it is, and then I'll see what this goes for on eBay as well. I've got some old bits of timber that I'm going to use. This was an old wardrobe that I took the panels off. And I've also got this 70s basket chair. This teak table here needs a bit of refurbishment, so I think that will be in a future video too. There's a really interesting old table here as well. So I'm going to clean it all up, a bit like I did with the teak cabinet. I'm going to wire wool it and then put some new teak oil on it. But it's an old card table. And it goes like that. It's basically got felt on the inside. I don't think it's too bad and it should hopefully clean up. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And then also there's other old seats here. So there's this that I'm going to re-upholster as well. It's quite interesting because the seat goes up like an old piano stool. I'll take all this old wadding off, and then I've got some sponge padding that I'm going to use, and I've also got some material that I could use as well. I need to decide what I'll do with the wood underneath though. It looks quite nice, so I think that will clean up quite well. And the height adjusts just by making it go round and round. And then there's a proper piano stool here as well. The wood on this piano stool is quite good, but it just needs re-upholstered. The fabric's really faded. You can lift the seat up and you can store things in it. It used to be used as a piano stool and you can store all your music in it. So I think what I'll do is I'll rub the wood down with wire wool and then reseal it all. There's another old table here and an old seat, which I think I'll do up. This is an old chair. I'll clean it up, reseal it. The seat is a little bit damaged. I'll repair that and then I'll re-oil it all. So I think it will come up quite well. And this table is really retro looking. It's got interesting trim around the edge. I'm not sure whether I'll replace it or buy a bit of wood trim to go all the way around the edge. And then I'll give it a good rub down and we'll see what it comes up like. And I managed to get hold of this really nice old box as well. I'm going to keep this box. It matches in with all the stuff in my shed quite well. I might look up what Canadian apples are though, just to see how old this crate actually is. It's got some really old newspaper. It's from an old Scottish newspaper called The Scotsman, and it's from Thursday, April the 12th, 1951. I've got this nice bit of timber to use as well, so I'll make something with that. I think there's a future video coming on. All this stuff really has cluttered up my shed again. It's made it look like a proper junk shop. So I think it's time to make loads of things out of all this and then sell it. I've cleaned this 70s basket chair up already, but it's really worn and you can see it's come apart in places and it needs a bit of repair work doing to it. So I might just sell it as it is and see if someone wants to do it up. As you can see, it looks really groovy. I've also got these really old tennis rackets. I think I'll definitely keep these though, because they really fit in well with the old shed theme. I think they look like 1950s or 1960s wooden tennis rackets, and they've got these wooden frames that act like clamps to stop the tennis rackets from warping. Anyone for tennis? I've got this really old tin sign. It's an old ice cream sign. It's a little bit dented and it's very faded, but it looks quite cool. So I think I'll keep that. I've also got this metal fan. It looks quite industrial. I think I might keep it as well because it does fit in with the shed theme. I've also got this old metal garden bench. It needs a good rub down. It's got a bit rusty in places, but a little bit of hammerite will do it well. I think I'll repaint it cream and then resell it. So that's a bit of an update then about all the stuff I've got that I'm going to be upcycling. So I'm sure there's lots of future videos coming out. So thanks for watching, and remember again to subscribe for some more DIY videos.